Hello everyone, my name is Dustin Benner and I'm the director of the Montana Paranormal Research Society. I'm here today, we're going to be talking about the K2 meter. The K2 meter is actually one of the most used tools that we use out in the field. However, one of the things we need to try to encourage among groups is that you don't rely heavily on the K2 meter. It's useful for several things. Finding electromagnetic fields within a location, and to a lesser extent, communication. And the reason I say lesser extent is that there's a lot of false positives that come out of using the K2 meter. So some of the things we're going to talk about today is that what the K2 meter does and how you can possibly fake it or misunderstand what's actually happening on the K2 meter. So we'll start out with this happens to be just a standard K2 meter. Doesn't come with any bells and whistles. As you can see, there's no button that's wired in on this one. You can get it with a push button kind of switch here, which makes it a little easier. Otherwise you have to hold it down, or you can simply just put a penny in it. Unfortunately, this does cause some wear and tear on your meter. So if you want to spend the extra money and get the switch, it's probably a good idea to do so. As you can see, I put a penny in here and it's on. So the K2 meter right now, it seems to be going off here. It's probably detecting the monitor that's in about 2 feet from it. The K2 meter we do use on investigations to mostly find electromagnetic fields within the location, and try to debunk some of the claims of paranormal activity. We have tried to use it several times, sometimes successfully as a two-way communications device, but the problem with that is that it doesn't always make sense. So keep that in mind. There's several things that go into play when you're using this device. One of the things we like to call a pulse, which is basically in a location, can almost count down the seconds before it's going to go off again. So, for instance, if you're sitting in a location and the K2 meter starts going off, seemingly to your questions, try to stop and think for a moment. Well, does it seem to be going off every 15 seconds, every 30 seconds? What's causing this? And a lot of times you can find an electrical source within the room to actually find out what is causing that. As you can see, that's one of the things we discuss on the Montana Reporter newsletter, is the pulse that we've seen on many cases. It's very important that if you use this device, you don't rely on it 100% for all your evidence. You need to use other devices to try to back it up. And that's usually what it takes to get a case off the ground here. We'll go ahead and take a look at a few things here. One of the things that the K2 meter is very sensitive to is wireless devices. So it's very easy to fake. So when you watch videos out there, please don't take it that way. You need to really look at all the other evidence that's out there, because I can sit here and talk to this K2 meter and I bet I can get a good session going right here in my room, which I know is not actually haunted or anything like that. So just to give you an example here, is there anyone here with us? Turn on the K2 meter so I can see. As you can see, we get a response. So if I ask a question like, for instance, are you male or female? If you're male, turn on the meter. If you're female, turn on the meter. So you can get these responses. And sometimes this can happen in error with the group. Keep in mind, it's very sensitive to electromagnetic fields and wireless devices, cell phones, and of course your standard walkie-talkie, which most of us use out in the field. So as you can see, I just press the button and it lights it up. It doesn't make any noises or anything like that. So in other words, the K2 meter, great piece of equipment, but don't rely on it for everything. It's very important to back up your evidence with audio, video, whatever you can get. 90% of the cases we go out on that we actually collect evidence on, the K2 meter plays very little in the role of actually collecting the evidence. So, fun device to have and play with, but again, don't rely on it 100%. Anyways, this is Dustin Benner with Montana Paranormal Research Society, and I want to thank you for tuning in today.